Guys, welcome again to another recording. And this, um, I want to speak about the reality of the Hoover from a narcissist, right? And this is basically how I kind of see this. Some of this is my opinion, but a Hoover, in regards to how um, I view the Hoover, is within the first discarding stages of where the narcissist has discarded you or you've left them, and they're trying to play around with you, like your emotions, where they come back just to kind of test out um, if you're still receptive to them, right? And so they haven't it's still fresh, or the breakup is still fresh. They're kind of hanging around, hoovering around you. They're not fully gone. They'll disappear 2 weeks, and then here they're calling you or something like that. That's what I see as hoovering. The other stages, guys, most importantly for those of you, and I really want to make this point here, that have been out of a narcissistic relationship, and you have went no contact, and it has been um a substantial amount of time, over a year or so. And when the narcissist comes back around, I don't call this a hoover at this point, because so much time has went by. I don't see that as kind of hoovering around. They've went on, they started another life with someone else. They've gotten married, they've had kids, all this other stuff. At this point, that's not a hoover. If, to me, in my opinion, when they decide to come back, that's a re-engagement. That's an attempt to re-engage an old source of supply. That is re-engagement. And it is important to know, guys, that when you are being re-engaged, right? As I've just mentioned, a lot of these individuals, narcissists, have went on, they've gotten married, they've had children, they've started completely different lives with other people, right? You haven't heard from them. They've been doing whatever they've been doing. And then if they do should happen to re-engage you, this is usually due to the fact that the source of the supply, or the life that they were trying to create with this other individual, has failed. And it's like they're going through their Rolodex, or they're going through their list of past victims, in attempt, I call this is a desperation re-engagement act, where the familiarity of prior victims is a lot easier to try to see if they can re-engage, versus having to go out and find a suitable source that they have to groom and everything else, while they are weakened by being damaged from losing the current source of supply that they had. If they don't have a secondary source lined up, or the secondary source is inefficient, then they will start going back through their list of old sources. They will try to re-engage them. Okay. And for you guys, a lot of you have to, and I gotta say this the way I gotta say this. You have to really understand, if that is the situation, and then you're hearing back from this person, you have to understand all of the expressions of emotion, and the trying to um, apologize and all of this stuff at this point, and while trying to re-engage you. Some may say that they still have feelings for you, they still want you, and all this stuff. You have to realize that's a bunch of bullshit. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. That is a desperation act, a plea to get back in with you. They will say and do whatever it takes to fill out the temperament of the individual, the past victim at least, to see just how receptive you are into taking them back, or into forgiving them and letting them back into your life or your personal space. Because if they can succeed with that, they know that they have a damn fool. Because they know the wrong that they've done. And you should know and be mindful of the wrong that they've done to you. But many of you still allow them to re-engage you with that fake apologetic and simulated love bombing all over again, because they try to get back in that way. They'll express how they missed you so much or something like that. But you got to be mindful. Wait a minute, these individuals went on. See, here's where this exits the normality range, because now a normal person would not come and have the audacity to re-engage you in that way after so much detrimental stuff has went on. But the narcissist, in their mode of psychosis, will most definitely make an attempt to re-engage you. Right? Now, they've had a whole nother life started with someone else, gotten married, had children, living a whole nother life. But that fails. And now there's so much back in love with you. Bullshit. Bullshit. Doesn't work that way. Right? These are lies. This is a false attempt to a false, not a false attempt, but it's a deceptive manner of trying to simulate their emotional affection that still lies and resides within them for you. But if you think about it, many of you, if you just take the time to think, how the hell can they do that when they were completely living a whole nother life with someone else? And the first thing you should come to the conclusion is that whatever was going on went wrong, or it's going wrong. And the outlook is not good. And the narcissist is ready to bail out, jump ship, and they are panicking. They need to recover quickly. They need a new source. And they need it like now. So they will tell you anything you want to hear. All the things you wanted and wished and desired for them to say when you were with them, all of a sudden now, because they are in desperation mode, they are able to express these things to you to get back in. Especially if you're doing good in life. They want back in. But you have to be mindful. You can't allow them to come back because the individual who they tried to replace you with failed them, or the situation failed altogether. And now they want re-entry. They want access again back into your life. This is a re-engagement at this point. None of you should be allowing a narcissist to re-engage and come back into your life. That is the ultimate disrespect to yourself. What does that say about how you feel about yourself and your own self-worth? But more importantly, what it says is that you can't do any better. It says you can't do without them. It basically tells them that you are stuck. And more importantly, overall, it says that you've been defeated by the narcissist. So really check yourself, analyze that situation, and understand that a hoover or an attempt to re-engage you is nothing more than the narcissists have been in a situation where they have lost, failed, and now they are looking to re-engage an old source to redeem themselves out of whatever situation they got themselves into. Has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do about their resurrection of how they want to live or be treated, but they're trying to get it through you. Their redemption, their recovery, their savior, all of this has to do with them, nothing to do with you. Be mindful of that. Do not fall for the BS and these individuals trying to come back professing love, professing how much they emotionally suffered without you and all of this stuff. Do not. Because in most cases, when they discarded you, they already had this other individual that they were trying to replace you with lined up and involved with, and even cheating or having an affair with them while they were with you. This is how they moved on so fast. Normal, healthy people, they don't just jump into other relationships, especially getting married or having children. They don't do that because they just came out of a detrimental situation that had major consequences in the first place. So they're going to be even more conscientious about the decisions that they make in regards to starting another relationship. But that's in a healthy person. But someone who is narcissistic, it's like oxygen. They can't breathe. They have to have someone else. And that person was already lined up before they fully got rid of you. And it failed. And once it fails, or once it goes wrong, now they want to come back to the old source. In most cases, the Hoover attempt or the re-engagement attempt of a narcissist, especially the re-engagement part where they've been away for a while, whatnot, started a new life. That is because what's going on in their life currently there with that source has failed. It's the mark, it's the sign of failure. Why should you reward the narcissist for trying to use you, play you, destroy you, trick you, deceive you? Why should you reward them after they fail? Think about that. Why should you reward them with the re-engagement access to you after they failed with someone else who they tried to replace you with? Think about that. That's all I have to say for this particular video, guys. Definitely want to make drive this point home, and bring up this verse. If you haven't, okay, if you haven't got the Departure of Empathy 1, you need to go get that. That documentary I put together is very informative, has a lot of information in it. We're working on part 2 of Departure of Empathy now, and it's going to be even better of a follow-up to the first one. But the first one is essential to have because we give a lot of detailed information in there. Also, we give dramatizations, actual scenes of how narcissists may act and carry out a situation. You definitely want to see that. I'll leave where you can get it in the description box below this video, and I'll also leave it in the comment section to where you can click on the link. It'll take you directly where you can get it. and you can download it directly once you purchase it. It's downloadable. Um, those of you, if you're following, um, click the like button, hit the like button, that thumbs up. Share the videos. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you click the subscribe. Um, Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me at ASSC Direct on Instagram. I post a lot of things on there. I show a lot of the active stuff, the events and stuff that I'm doing on there. You get to see kind of like a part of what I do in my daily life and stuff like that on Instagram. So, guys, I will be following up with you about the release of the tour. Um, Quiet Weapons for Silent Wars Against Narcissists. I'll be following up with you guys soon about that. But until then, guys, be mindful of that. Take care of yourselves. Love yourselves. Have a good one.